let me set the scene for you.
Mm.
You guys are in like a lover's lane situation in the mid 60s. You live in a town in West Virginia, Point
Awesome.
Pleasant. And you are out in this outskirt area of town where they used to build munitions for World War II, I think.
It's like when we lived in Richmond.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys are out there doing whatever, necking, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so you hear some rustling behind your car. You look behind it and you see what looks to be a 7-foot tall dude with no head, bright red eyes right in the middle of his chest, no arms, and wings like, well, more like a bat than a moth, really.
So
Curled
not
up
even
behind
quite
him.
like, a little more like this, but still not quite like this. Too mothy.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say too mothy, although to be fair, I was not there.
Yeah. If only we were.
Yeah, so you see this thing, and it notices you, and when it does, it takes off straight up into the sky. It spreads its wings, 15-foot wingspan, takes straight off without moving its wings at all.
Ooh.
I
That is
know.
weird.
That's
pretty
very
good.
creepy. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Mothman doesn't do much more than that, to tell you the honest truth.
I saw some pictures of the Mothman like flying around the bridge, but I'm pretty sure those were made by people after the fact. But some people said they saw the Mothman by a bridge during this time.
So yeah, great segue. The Mothman. So what I should say is, like, this is all part John Keel. I'm gonna go back to John Keel. John Keel,
Let's
the guy
go
who
John
wrote the
Keel.
book, The Mothman Prophecies. He's like your standard. He's a pretty good writer, really. So I think that's one of the reasons this book sort of stands the test of time, versus other sort of weird folklore-ish books.
A lot of them from that time period are very dry.
Yeah. Well, this guy, according to his Wikipedia page, wrote for Get Smart and the Monkees and Lost in Space.
Mm-hmm. Like, great shows.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So he goes down there to investigate this UFO flap and the Mothman stuff, and definitely starts to like lose it a little bit. It seems to me, assuming that what he's telling you is not just like he's not writing a novel, which is totally a possibility. In fact,
This is
it's
kind of
almost
like what the
certainly happening.
movie played with too. Like, is he just losing his mind, kind of?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I should say I've never seen that movie. I know that Richard Gere stars in it,
Yeah.
and I suspect it's not very good. Have
No,
you seen it?
I saw some clips of it because I thought I'd do something funny with the clips for tonight's show, but they're not interesting.
Yeah.
But it did have like a vibe of, am I sane or not? Like lots of mirror-looking scenes. It's one of those kind of movies.
Yeah. So like that's, I think, the most interesting part of all of this, because like you get past the Mothman and it's like, okay, it's a half man, half moth, whatever, you know? But there's also like the Men in Black thing, I think I don't know if it comes from this, but like it's definitely like a big like aspect of the Mothman prophecies. So it's like these weird, like, I think of them as like, you know, in Multiplicity, where Michael Keaton copies himself too many times and he's like, you know, a bad version of Michael Keaton putting pizza in his wallet and things like that.
Yep.
Cool. So they're like that, where it's like they're like facsimiles of people. They can't like, they like look weird. They drive cars that are like 10 years old but like look brand new. Yeah, it's such good little details. I love that shit.
The whole thing with Men in Black is like they're just slightly off.
They're slightly off, yeah. Just like Tommy Lee Jones, you know.
Right?
So like,
or Alex Trebek and Jesse Ventura.
I feel like more of a Christopher Walken vibe.
Ooh.
I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my guess.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I also read that Men in Black kind of it was John Keel definitely helped like get the whole Men in Black phrase. That was like one of his big contributions. I'm not sure, if it was from the Mothman or another book that he wrote.
So I don't know that it's from the Mothman, but they're a recurring character in the Mothman like
cool
universe or whatever.
The greater Mothman and the greater creature universe.
Yeah, exactly. The cryptozoological cinematic universe.
Yeah.
The Mothman or the Men in Black feature prominently. They're like they come, they knock on your door, they know stuff about you that they shouldn't, and they act really weird. Mm-hmm. And they also like want to take something, which is another little detail that he puts in there that I love. Oh. Like they get really excited if you give them a pen or something like that.
Oh, no way! Like kids getting like a penny or something.
Yeah. Yeah, It's so good, dude.
That's awesome.